Very carefully. I assume. That's a good question.
Because he's standing on a platform.
Even the mom is all.
In the neighborhood, they're really young, and the neighbors and people who would regularly visit Alkebulan village, they wanted to name it after them. So Burrell was the kid's last name, so they named it the Burrell Trail.
That's what this is for Engage Detroit, along with Rakia back there, and Tupac, and Alkebulan Village. And so we all are working on alleys, lots, or we're working from hubs, which is like community spaces, either houses or some kind of space. So alley. So here's the alleyway that Alkebulan Village is working on. If you look down the alley, both ways, you can see that it's been it's cleared. A path has been cleared straight down and even on the side. And there has been conversation with neighbors. There have been conversations with neighbors about what they want to see in the alleyway, because now this alleyway is turned into a nature trail, a nature place. Can you all see that? Who can see that? That now we're now in nature. So one of the things and the ideas is to begin to identify all the species that are back here. All the various species, putting up signs with all the species that are back here. Not just trees, no, bugs, critters, everything. All the species are going to be identified here. In addition to that, there's some municipal plants here too that can feed us. You know, we have plants on our our front lawns, if you don't put chemicals on them, that can actually feed you. Right behind you. Yep. I know that they're, well, I don't know. What did you say this is? These are grape leaves. Do you use these, ma'am? You can see them.
Oh, yeah.
They pick yours to eat. So we were just, so there's some grape, I don't know what kind of grapes, but we have grape leaves. I know that they're, so they're like, they use these as collard greens. One of mine,
you roll them with cabbage.
Oh, you roll them with cabbage, like they do grape leaves? Okay. Okay, so people, so this would be something that would be identified. I know a Paul who's with the University of Michigan that's also sponsoring. Drowse. He's been picking, what's that, not comfrey.
Comfrey, yeah.
Lamb's ear.
Yeah, lamb's ear, lamb's quarters, lamb's ear.
Lamb's quarters.
Lamb's quarters.
I don't know
So
why.
lamb's quarters, I forgot which way. He's been, every time we come to an alleyway, he's picking up the lamb's quarters and cooking it like you cook
He
greens.
sautés it.
He sautés it. Pardon me?
I put them in my smoothies.
She puts in her smoothies. You know, so there's something called wild edibles, and I used to be part of a group called Healing Support Network, and we would go into alleys and into different areas in the city, and they would identify the different plants that were healing and use those plants and show us how to use them. Now, I'm not a cook, and I didn't really stick with it, but it's really a practice. And they call it foraging. You know, you can forage.
Bless
You all know that we also have, what is that called? Mulberries. How many people have mulberry trees? And I thought I don't know if it's any back here, but the mulberries are great.
They were somewhere along here.
Then we go here. Yeah, we saw some mulberries. We were here last time, right? So they're gonna identify all the species. They're gonna identify all the plants. And then when they surveyed the neighbors said they wanted some kind of water element. And so they're gonna make some kind of like babbling brook, not brook, but some kind of water item or sculpture where it's gonna be water in this alleyway. Because the neighbors wanted to see water. Can you think of anything else, Rakia, that we talked about? So Rakia was here when Greg was with what was it?
So the idea is to not only make it like a discovery path, but like add some of that serenity to it. So we think of like the downtown trails and have a place to sit.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
A fish pond, see? And we
Yeah.
a quake fish pond. So now the ideas are starting to flow. And so as you can see, people once they start getting into and so the young people actually this summer for their jobs, they actually cleared a lot more of the alleyway. So when we first came, it was a little more full.
Yeah.
And so they cleared a lot. They cleared a lot of the alleyway. So they're part of it.
If you weren't here when we made the announcement, the tent to the left, we have free food.
Anatomy of a porch. But the second part is for us to carry this forward into some action and go on the blocks in this neighborhood or maybe in your neighborhood or some other places we might decide as a group, and let's put in some porch work with our neighbors and for each other to help people get up and down the stairs more safely. So this again just came from walking up and down the blocks and talking to my neighbors, going on their porches and coming off their porches and being like, man, this is off the hook. It's like every other house, the porch is messed up. And so, not to mention the porch. So the porch is something we can affordably participate in helping with. But the other biggie is the roof. And most folks have that problem. And now we're talking $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 or more in repairs to get that straight. So, well, we're gonna get to that. So, if there's anybody else who would like to participate in the open mic part, now is the time. Creative expression about alleys, lots. And if not, I would like to give you all just a 5-minute break to go over maybe to the Mama Edis Park and see what's going on with the Alkebulan Village Cultural Festival. And we'll give our carpenter an opportunity to set up the mock porch that we're going to be using to construct and learn how to put together and put down a porch. All right. Also, for all my participants here today who participate in the 3 elements of this workshop, through our community partner and through our support from University of Michigan, we are able to provide $30, $50 gas cards. Now, these $30, $50 gas cards have to be used at Steen's Sit Go Party Shop, which is a black-owned gas station right here in our neighborhood, just a quarter mile north down Van Dyke. And so if you don't know about them, here's your opportunity to learn about them and get $50 worth of gas on us. So please stick around These will be dispersed at the end of the alley activation piece. But this is a big part of what we're doing today and why we're doing it. For this, because we've seen it, but it's always good to have a reference to go back to. So to her point, I'm gonna pull that together. I'm gonna ask everybody. Run this program.
And then the last one came to me out about 4 or 5 months pregnant. I was like, got it. I was like, okay. And then he gave me a place for her middle name tomorrow or Daisy. I'm thinking Daisy. Come on. That's the video. To me, pregnant to me, it's like a mom that's right. So I'm like, I want Daisy. That's like, I was thinking, so she's actually my aunt. Raised because my mom had been there when I was 8. So her first name, actually she's working with this first name. So yeah, she legacy. So technically I named her for my mom. That's great. I couldn't believe it came so quick. Third time's the charm.
Same word. I said don't leave, do one more.
Great. Hey, Papa, you still got to pick up.
Come on, Unc. Come on, Unc. What you doing, man?
Man, I ain't recording that. That's stupid.
Hey, that boy scared.
Yeah, that one hot. That one hot. Gonna burn that head.
Put your hand on the back of it, Unc.
You gotta hold it.
Unc, put your hand on the back.
My man, be quiet.
Nope.
Be quiet.
Come on, Unc.
When you hear that, it's scripted.
Yeah.
Let's take this out.
Watch that.
Oh, wonderful.
Right. Know how they represent. You gotta turn it around, then home,
Push down some of my way.
yeah. Push down. There you go.
Not now. Right here. You good? Come on, man. I'm sorry. Rising. You're going between the stairs.
Yeah, I haven't.
All of this wood, with the exception of the 2x4s that's used as the thing to hold it together. All of this wood is treated lumber. Treated lumber is best used when you're doing something outside, so that it stand up against the elements longer. Untreated wood will stand up, but not as well as this wood.
Is this the same kind of wood you use for a deck?
Yeah.
I've been told.
So treated lumber is a little bit more because we went through another process. It got soaked in some chemicals. Touch it, it's a little wet-ish, but it helps it to retain its integrity over time. Whatever chemicals they use on top.
Is it safe to walk on?
Yeah. Go ahead. I got your back in case you need.
Now, you know, if you're a veteran, you get 10% discount.
That was a good question.
Oh, yeah, that's the foundation.
Veteran or contract, you get 10% off being a vet.
That was in Western Michigan University. So when I came back to Detroit, I worked with Jefferson. And so
Yeah.
48 inches out of each. We got 3 out of one full section. So you're gonna save some money doing it that way. In the spirit of transporting the stuff in the back of my truck, with the baby and all of that, I got some stuff that was pre-cut and already ready to go. Yep. So it really don't even cost that.
Yeah, give me that.
About 150. You guys pay the labor. That's why I'm here.
Right. Yeah, learn. Yeah, this is something you can do. Because like they said, you get the risers already. Those little step things. You get those already.
I think it's worth it though to get the risers pre-cut.
You too, I think
if you're an amateur.
Yeah, I think so.
At least for my skill set. I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
Walking on the stairs,
Make this.
Yeah.
What they call University YouTube.
Show.
Water all down there
Yeah, go back.
Go back and hey.
No, this is that. It's still a long process. But it's still a long process. But so it really depends on what you
this way so everybody can see.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay.
Papa John, did they bring the food out yet? Yeah. Yep.
I didn't even mean to move it. I didn't even feel it.
I'm gonna tell you how important. I'm gonna ask Greg about this. Let people know. My neighbor also they have a nonprofit that helps build porches and stuff. When they first came to Detroit, helping people, they walked on somebody's porch. A lady from the organization and nonprofit walked on the porch, went through the porch, and let her mouth wide open. She was helping somebody that had three kids. She was in a hospital for like 3 days. She had to get some stuff under her mouth. That's how important it is. You got blood, take care of it. So we can go through that. If it gets too dry, and she went straight to that point. You're so upset because you're free to start. That's a screw. And some of those ones
All the guys still working down there. They gone?
You see that cancel the point. So it's not bad. And if you're using a power there's some screws that will lock them together.
Got it. Thank you, Baba.
It's a lot. Sometimes, you know, it sounds like to me you're trying to say, but you're trying to get a job.
I was talking to that one guy,
So now just making sure they all the same overhang, meaning they all hang over the same amount, the nice center looks good. When they come up, screwing them down. Now it's gonna be your stairs.
Is it the same texture on both sides of the step wood?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
No, the other side looks a little less finished.
Okay.
This side looks a little different.
Or when you work on that side, wouldn't it be safer?
What do you mean?
Because, you know, sometimes the steps get slick and you'll slip and fall. So wouldn't a more ridge style be safer to walk on?
So they both have ridges.
The ones with the little ridges. Wouldn't that,
She's asking if this side,
wouldn't
this side would
with
be
the
safer
smaller ridges
than
wouldn't
this
it be
one.
safer to walk on? Because there's so much texture versus the other side. The other side is slick and that's for old people to do their stuff.
So I think.
I mean, I'm just saying.
But those have grooves. But those have grooves. They got grooves of dirt to go in there.
Even my parents, I end up having to put that grip on the steps. I'm just asking.
I'm thinking that they put this here to add texture on both sides.
But I would say that when that side
what she said.
I would probably.
That looks smoother,
Let's
though.
investigate. I don't know.
This is me.
Farouk, what's your take on it? One side any better than the other based on the
Grip structure.
Yeah, this side gives you more grip. It's more,
And I'm the person to fall down and say
actually more surface than these.
That's what she said.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like you can stain this and it's gonna stay, but you can't stain the back of it.
you can stay both. But you don't need to side the side.
I think this side just looks a little more aesthetically pleasing. It looks better. But it's also like the more, yeah, exactly.
So we got some consensus that the side with the more grooves is the side safer.
So I just really like what you put.
So they were asking, is one side proper side or better side to use than the other? The consensus is that the side with the more grooves is the better side. I think it's debatable. Either side probably could work for you, but it could be designed where one side is intended to be versus the other. This side.
A neighborhood street.
I think that's dangerous.
And the trucks, like they small cars.
And if somebody don't park accurately, he can bump into
Yeah, this career
The banana phone.
came his career. And so now he comes back and works with our youth in the summer program and teaches them the basics of carpentry. And this year they actually working on doing a ceramic tile installation at another youth development spot over off of Gratiot and Benson.
I didn't think you. I just said thank you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad for that.
And I said I'll get it. I'll keep it wherever I go.
What's the best tool to use? Best tool to use? Brand.
Milwaukee.
I hear Milwaukee. You say the walk.
That's like asking what's the best religion, man. You can't do that.
I'm trying to start something. Can't you see that? I use Ryobi. I got not that long. Doing some stairs. Part of it. This is going to mimic how the stairs come in contact with the house. All the way at the back of the board. No, I was just saying.
Well, that's fast.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Take two.